Hello class, this is Tim Tomlanovich again. This is Construction Methods and welcome to Learning Plan 2, Specifications. Okay, all right. So let's discuss the different types of specifications. So basically specifications, what they are, they're kind of like the recipe book, the code book, the instruction manual of what materials we need, how to construct it, basically for all the project sites. So that's kind of what specifications are. All right. So these are some, but not all, specification organizations and formats. We have the AIA, American Institute of Architects, the Construction Specifications Institute, CSI, the Construction Specifications Canada, CSC. I worked with them. Those basically these two are equivalent. This one's for Canada, and this one's for the USA. Okay, we got the Wisconsin Department of Transportation, WISTA, and we got the Michigan Department of Transportation, MDOT. So I'm guessing every single state has their own specification, organizations, and format. Okay. So we're going to discuss the Construction Specification Institute, CSI. Okay. All right, let's start with CSI Master Format. Okay, so how it's like a book. So you got to think of a table of contents. What I want you to get out of this learning plan is where to find things. So like at the end of this, hopefully division 3 is concrete. So you just know it doesn't change no matter what project you are on, no matter what format it is, if it's an old version, new version, you know they typically division 3 is concrete. So if I need to know what I need to know about concrete, division 3. So this is how it's organized. So you have two groups. You have the specifications, and then you have the procurement and contracting requirements. Procurement and contracting requirements. So this is division 00. This is where you're going to find your responsibility. This is where you're going to find out deliverables, responsibilities of the instructor, authority, contract documents, etc. Right here, division 00. Okay, so that's the first group. The second group is the specifications that actually construct the project. And then within those specifications, you have 5 subgroups. Okay. And the 5 subgroups, the first one is Division 1, is general requirements. So the contracting requirements, Division 00, this is kind of like the accounting stuff right here, costs and stuff. And then also in Division 1 are the general requirements. So this is where you'll also find your responsibilities as an inspector, your duties for that project. So here and here are the kind of the administrative documents of that project to help you decide who's in charge of what are you in charge of inspecting. Okay, so divisions 2 through 19, so the second subgroup of the 5, I'm sorry, is facility construction. And then the subgroup is divided into divisions, 02 through 19, facility construction. The third subgroup is facility services, and those are divisions 20 through 29. And then the fourth subgroup is site infrastructure, divisions 30 through 39. And then the fifth subgroup is process equipment, divisions 40 through 49. So that's kind of how specifications are. It's kind of like the table, that's how it would be organized. So when you need to find your information. Okay, so the 2 groups are not numbered. The 5 subgroups are not numbered. Subgroups divided into numbered divisions. They call that a level 1. Divisions include sets of numbered sections, and excuse me, that's levels 2 through 4. So it goes from group to subgroup to divisions, and then sections are under divisions. Sections specify work results. Sections define the work results are permanent or temporary aspects of construction, projects achieved in the production stage, or by subsequent alteration, maintenance, or demolition processes through the application of particular skilled trade or construction resources. Okay, so as you can see here, these fall. Okay, all right, so what do the numbers mean? Okay, 3, that's a division. Division, level 1. Okay. Section, that's a level 2 through 4. And the third set of numbers are level 3 and 0.00 is a level 4. So basically, first two are the division, second two are the section, and then we have so this, and this are also sections, so it's just the section is broken down into a level 3 and a level 4. So it can get very detailed. Okay, so division 03, concrete, level 1 division. Okay, so now let's go to the section. Concrete reinforcement is section 20 of division 3. That's a level 2 section. All right, so now we can even, this is still a level 2, but so we have reinforcement bars because concrete reinforcement, so we're in reinforcement bars, so that's 21 instead of 20. 20 is kind of like the general concrete reinforcement, and then you'll have 21 reinforcement bars, level 2. Okay, 03, division 3, section 21, 21. Composite reinforcement bars. Okay, so that's a level 3. And then division 3, concrete, 21 reinforcement bars. 21 is things, if it's a composite reinforcement bar, that's level 3 section 21, and then 0.11 is glass reinforced polymer reinforcement bars, level 4. So you can see how much detail these can get into. So this helps organize. It's kind of like a Dewey Decimal System of a library. Helps organize things. Certain categories fall under certain divisions and sections, so you don't want to changing them around. So, and you can have a very basic specification, or you can have a very detailed specification. Let's talk about the individual specification breakdown, and then at the end of the slideshow, we'll go show you the parts, or maybe I can intervene here. Part 1, general information. I'll show you what one looks like. Section Part 1. So this is Part 1, Section 1 includes. Section work includes. What does this work include? 1.2 is related sections. So obviously, there are related sections to construct one object. So if you need to know about, okay, well, I need to do soil mechanics for this concrete. So obviously, you have to reference another sections to understand to completely construct that object. Reference standards, ASTM, what are you referencing? Submittals, how do we submit your deliveries, inspection reports, etc. Quality assurance, what are we going to do for quality? Pre-installation meetings, delivery, storage, and handling, and project conditions, and sequencing. Okay, so you want to identify delivery, storage, and handling. So you wanted to say, because let's say you submit a piece of equipment on site and it gets destroyed by rain. So if you specify that in the specification and it gets rained on, the contractor is responsible to replace that. But if you don't specify that, guess the contractor is going to charge you to buy another one. So that's why specifications are important. So that's the part 1, kind of sequencing of the construction, existing project conditions. So obviously this is important, like there's certain sequencing and project conditions that have to occur before this product or this construction action can happen. So, and then it's a way to warn, okay, I'm going to be traveling down a 20-foot by 20-foot diameter hole 100 feet deep. So project conditions, that allows the subcontractor or whoever to properly estimate cost to construct that. Because can you imagine he's showing up on site and all of a sudden he's got to install that in a 100-foot hole? I mean, obviously there's a lot of safety and more cost involved that. So this whole section kind of helps them prepare their estimate to construct it. So this is this traditional relationship. Remember, it's design, specifications are made, and then it goes out for bid. So now in their design bid, or design build, this is being developed at the same time. So there's a lot of communication back and forth, and a lot of these unknowns kind of disappear. Part 2 is products of that specification. 2.1, manufacturers. Where am I going to get that from? So that identifies, is it the Walmart brand or the Target brand, so they can estimate properly. The materials. Okay, so 2.1 and 2.2 is the material, the actual materials of that. And then part 3 is the execution of it. How do I construct it? Preparation, is there any preparation that needs to, for example, putting in a manhole to the subgrade before you place the manhole? Okay, typically what happens, the subgrade is compacted, it's dewatered, it's compacted, and then a layer of gravel is typically, and then the manhole's put in for preparation. How do I install it? Is there any special techniques you need to worry about? Protection, this is key, especially like, okay, so you spend 2 days, it hasn't rained, you spend 2 days and you placed in compacted fill, 2 feet of it, and all of a sudden you get a frozen night and then it freezes and you got to put more fill on top of it. You cannot put frozen fill on top of frozen fill, so that freezes. So basically what they have to do is they have to rip that out and start over. So if you warn them that, hey, you need to protect your work from freezing, so that what they can just put a big blanket over it, that's kind of what that means. So it's very important. Damage and repairs. What do we do if we damage or repair? Or when it comes, usually there's somebody that is inspecting on this equipment when it comes. Okay, and then if there's damage or repairs, this will tell you what I need to do with it. And then the testing. What kind of testing is involved? Okay, so Division 00 defines responsibility, relationships, processes, and responsibilities for projects. Okay. The inspector's qualifications, duties, responsibilities are typically defined in Division 00 and Division 1, as I was mentioning before. Next is WSDOT Standard Specifications and Construction and Materials Manual. Okay. So the WSDOT Standard Specifications, they update them every year. So you go on the website, contains 7 parts. You got general requirements and covenants. Part 1, 100, starts with 100. Earthwork is 200, Part 2. Part 3 is bases and subbases, so all those sections start with the 300. Part 4 is pavements. Part 5 is structures. Part 6 is incidental construction. Part 7 is the quality management program. Okay, oops, let me go back one. So basically, in cemented ags, where were we? We were, let's see, Wisconsin standard specs. Pavements, part 4, right? Pavements, base courses, part 3. Structures, that's where concrete is. Okay, so after a while, you'll just know where to look for these things. That's how it's kind of organized. All right. Now, Wisconsin Construction Materials Manual, CMM, that is updated every year. So Chapter 1 is general provision. Chapter 2 is contract. 3 is earthwork and basis. Chapter 4 is pavements. Chapter 5 is structures. Chapter 6 is miscellaneous. 7 is construction survey. And 8 is materials testing, sampling, and acceptance. So this specification manual is kind of material properties. What kind of material property? What does it need to be? And then the construction materials manual kind of explains the specifications for construction, sampling, and testing. So, okay, so you got to look at, basically what you got to do is you got to look at both, because there's a pavements for in the specifications which coincide, which work together with chapter 4 of the CMM manual. So you need both of them. One is to design, and the other one is when it's being constructed, how am I sampling, when am I testing, etc. So the WISDOT, as I say, the WISDOT standard specification needs to be used in conjunction with the WISDOT construction materials manual. Last but not least, we got the MDOT. I thought I'd throw the MDOT in there because a lot of you may work in Michigan because it's a neighboring state. So Division 1, Division 2, earthwork, Division 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So basically, when whatever you're doing, you know kind of where to look and follow it. So these are standard specifications. Standard specifications, right? The MDOT and the WISDOT, and then the CSI are construction specifications. Okay. So I just thought so you're familiar with them, where to find things, get you digging into them so you can answer questions. Okay, so let's look at, let me go back to this, and let's go back to right here. All right, so general information, part 1. Okay, so let's go back to here. So here's a specification I took from, this is from the Transportation Center. So part 1, general, related documents. Section includes action submittals, closeout submittals, maintenance material submittals. Okay, so that's basically, this is for lavatory. So look at the name of the section. Section 2242 16.13. So I think this number right here should be the division, commercial lavatories. So this is related to part 1. See, includes work, related sections, standards, submittals, etc. So sometimes they're all in there, sometimes they're hardly in there. Okay, so let's go to part 2 of that spec. Part 2 is what? Products. See? So they want vitreous china counter-mounted lavatories. Suppliers, the fixture, okay, wall-mounted. So as you can see, this is attached in Blackboard, so you can kind of look through it. So this is specifying what they want, okay? And then remember me talking about sometimes we have to replace that, but is it equivalent? Okay, so you can look here, there's quite a bit in section 2 here. So I'm just kind of going through it, so you can go through it. Supply fittings, a lot of detail, waste fittings. All right, now part 3 is what? Let's go back to manufacturers and materials, right? It's to tell what manufacturer and what materials. Basically the part number from Kohler or Home Depot. Part 3 is execution. Examination, right? So sometimes they have examination. So installation, how to install all this. Connections, adjusting, cleaning, and protection. And there we go. So I just thought I'd show you that. So every single piece and part in that project has something like that. So you can imagine at Transportation Center, the specifications are like 1,000 pages. I just took one out 1,000. They're huge. They're huge because there's so many parts and pieces to that. So I just wanted to give you an example of a specification. So with that, that's the end of this presentation for Learning Plan 2. So if you look in Blackboard, you have 2 assignments. You can get started on those. If you have any questions, please contact me. Thank you. Have a great day.